First runway show?
First runway show.
Don't be
nervous.
nervous.
Can you tell I'm nervous?
Don't be nervous.
I'm nervous though. I'm nervous though.
I'm nervous
What?
Too.
You are? Oh my God. How
Can
long
you
have you been
tell?
doing it?
30 years.
30 years and you're still nervous? Is it weird? That's kind of a relief to me because like it makes me feel okay about being nervous. Everyone else seems so confident.
It's not weird. Honey, this is my last runway show, so I'm going to give you all the knowledge that I have in these old bones, okay?
Okay.
Just be confident, and when they do the turn pivot, that's when you want to arch your lower back as hard as you can. Just snap the disc out of the socket because that's what the designers are looking for these days. That's in.
Oh, okay. That's in to snap the disc out of its socket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for
You're wearing
giving me
lipstick?
advice. Yes. Is
Honey,
that bad?
no, honey, that's bad.
No lipstick.
No lipstick.
Oh no.
They want us to, honestly, did you eat something today?
Yes, I did.
I smell garlic. I smell a lot of garlic.
I ate a garlic encrusted filet mignon.
Oh. Okay, you broke the cardinal rule. No carbs.
Garlic?
No carbs.
No carbs.
No carbs, no food, no garlic. That's the rule of any show day.
No carbs, no food, no garlic.
Is this funny?
I'm sorry. No, it's not funny. I just feel like all of that could be under the same category of no food.
You're a little bit too smart to be a model. Which, Cassie, is it?
Yes, Cassie, MD.
Listen, Cass, when I started in this business, I wasn't allowed to eat anything for a month before a runway show. They would give me Evian. They'd deliver it to my hotel room, and it would say, have a little note from my agent, enjoy your dinner.
Just Evian water?
I tell you, I lost 40 pounds in my first year, but I was on the cover of Vogue.
Wow, that's incredible.
What's your goal?
That's incredible. You're absolutely. My goal is to be on the cover of Vogue.
That's right. And never forget that, no matter what man tries to take that away from you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do this.
Can you get my zipper?
Yes. Okay, you're up.
Is my bra snapped? Because my boobs are feeling saggy.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to do that first. Okay.
Make sure you... all the way. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good.
There you go. Okay. All set. Okay.
Prosthetics are your friend in this industry. Those aren't real.
Wow. Okay.
These teeth aren't real. See my left eye?
Yeah?
That's a prosthetic.
You have a fake eye?
Silicone.
You have a silicone eye?
I can see just fine out my right eye.
Okay. Why did you do that?
Well, I had early onset glaucoma.
Okay, so it
was starting to yellow the corner of my eye, and you cannot have that when you want to be on the cover of Vogue.
You're right. And I want to be on the cover of Vogue.
What's your goal?
To be on the cover of Vogue.
Don't you ever let any man take that away from you.
Yes, ma'am.
I let my husband, Jerry, distract me from that goal for 10 years. Where did it land me? In a bar on the south side of Tampa, Florida.
Never want to go to Tampa.
Don't do it.
I won't do it.
You're beautiful, honey. You've got a great career ahead of you. What's your goal?
To be on Vogue.
Cover. You're a cover girl. I can see it in your eyes.
Thank you.
Since this is my last show, I see a lot of potential in you. I never had a daughter. I want you to have my eye after the show.
Okay.
But here, hold it now. I wanted to get used to its new owner.
Okay. Thank you.
It really meant a lot to me when you gave me when I asked you for a tampon earlier and you gave it to me. Most women say, that'll be $1. It's like, people are so stingy.
Everyone in Tampa just charges to borrow tampons. tomorrow.
You have to get out of this town.
You're right.
If you want to make it, you're going to have to go to LA. Oh my God, did you just rip out your real good eye?
Yeah.
You didn't have to, oh my God, there's blood everywhere. Oh, honey, you're a cover girl. You are a cover girl. Can we get someone to clean up the blood? Just like heightening the disgusting nature of that industry.
Oh, that was crazy. Okay.
Cringy.
Yeah. How did we get to there? Like, how did we get to the? How's this? Because this was a silent initiation, right?
Started with our faces.
Oh yeah.
We were kind of like worried about appearances.
That's right. Yeah, I saw you messing with your hair, so I decided to repeat you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, the first choice I made was like, I am a lady and like I want to impress this man, but then you ended up being a girl, so I had to change my game a little bit.
My go-to move, especially if it's a silent initiation like that, if I don't know the person, I'm just gonna repeat what they're doing and figure out what happens next. Yeah,
it's easy to be peas in a pod versus like let's start in some weird conflict about something that we have no actual experience with.
Yeah. It's true, and I'm pretty sure both of us have a solid amount of experience with modeling and runway modeling.
Yeah, and prosthetic eyes.
For sure, with prosthetic eyes. I like that. What made you choose to be? Because you're, I love that you're this old, very disgusting model who is clearly not like the go-to look for modeling, but somehow you are at the same time. What made you make that choice to be like weird and nasty?
Yeah, I just thought like, okay, like what's gonna heighten like today's the day kind of thing, and like if we're just models and like I made the choice that we didn't really know each other, which is sort of a weaker choice, so I had to kind of justify that by making it more important, like I was gonna pass on all my modeling knowledge, and I thought like that industry is just so predicated on youth and beauty that like it's funny to see like what's the last stage of that.
Yeah I like that. Well, because it is like that's like your character was confidently gross, which is why I was like why I made the choice of like, oh okay, like I'm gonna be a little bit more submissive in this scene because that's kind of.
I'll be curious to see like the playback because I had started like super submissive, so I wonder where that switched.
I don't know. Well, because it never, like, it definitely came from the heightening, the grossness of it, because it didn't start as like gross. It just started like it started with like it felt like you were confident with it, like you nervous, you seem nervous, and so right there that tells me like, okay, obviously I'm nervous. But this person has clearly been doing it for a while, because that's not a question that I've ever been asked by someone who hasn't been doing whatever situation for a while. Seem nervous, hun.
Yeah, so I think that's always like a good, easy choice to make, is just noticing like what you see on your partner's face, just calling it out, because the audience sees it. There's no hiding from it.
No, it's true. And whether they realized it or not, they registered what was going on.
Right. And then I matched your emotion. Like my character was super nervous too, even though she'd been doing it for a long time. Yeah. The imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Classic. We've been I think it helps. This one was some, again, with the team that I coach, I've been working on like focusing on the very last line that was said, and not like, what else am I gonna say? What am I going to do in the future to make this funnier? Or like, just focus on the very previous line that was said to you.
I think this like, had this scene played with a team on the wall to support it, like it would have been really fun to see the manager of the show walk on, because it's an opportunity as improvisers to completely change our attitudes and behaviors, and like how do these like
Yeah,
seemingly unprofessional women like snap into what they think is expected of them.
it's true because every person on the planet has something that makes them feel confident, scared, happy, angry, crazy. They have all those emotions, so it's fun to. That's what makes a really great improv scene for me is when all the memorable characters are the ones where we get to see as many of those different things as possible. We get to see as many different
Yeah.
uh like causes for why they feel the way that they do.
Yeah.
And
It
it
makes
does. It
me
comes from a good team and stuff. And I think I would have liked to see the actual runway. I think in
totally.
a perfect world where we're not on Zoom and I get to actually explore the space, we would have cut and saw the runway and watched me break my spine.
My eye would have
Uh,
fallen out.
yeah, because that's how I would have ended it is and I think it would have crushed because we would have walked down stage. I would have blood dripping down my eye because I just ripped mine out and have a fake eye in, and then and then I try to pop my disc out of place. and,
Yeah, that was so great too. Like just the choice of like this model who's like it's her first show and she's willing to rip out her own eye because a
yeah,
senior
well, you
model is
became my
like,
mentor. You were my mentor at this moment. And I was like, you are on the cover of Vogue, and that is my goal. and and even if it wasn't, I do think that's my yeah, if someone gives me something that crazy, like you just pulled out your own eye
oh
and
yeah,
gave it to me, it
oh
felt like
yeah.
the only correct response to that was for me to rip out my own eye and put it in there.
I feel like we could have
So
even
it felt
like
like it's the only
stretched
way to go.
that reality of that moment even more. And again, that would be another great place for a back team member to walk on, like to see them
Oh my
actually
god!
taking
Yeah,
care of this bloody mess. Like, oh my god, that freak out moment.
yeah.
Um, something that
That's something. As we're talking it out. Oh, go ahead.
Jet Evelith, like I took a like one-off workshop with her, and she said like if you're like screaming or crying in pain, like the audience doesn't necessarily like enjoy seeing like the real portrayal of that. So like that's a time where you can play with it. Like if you're like hurt, it can be like, like feel free to make like whatever sounds are fun for you. Because it's gonna
Oh yeah,
distance it a little bit from the like, oh my god, this is scary. Like,
yeah. So I for me, because I've heard this explained before, and this is something I think I need to work on. Is like, yeah, the sounds and stuff, make whatever wacky sounds you want to make, but the intensity of the situation has to be real.
yeah,
And I think like, and that's where like even with this one, I think I could have gone harder with the fact that I just ripped out my own eye
yeah.
and stuff. Where it's like, I've seen some of the times when I've laughed, the hardest I've ever laughed is watching these improv scenes where someone like you see it all the time and like with new improvisers where someone will come in and like shoot somebody with a gun and everyone goes, "Oh my god." And that's it and stuff. And you
Yeah.
don't really like you don't think anything of it. It doesn't like distract from the scene or anything. But that versus like I've seen a scene with like Becky Drysdale where Becky came in and killed a character and Heather screamed bloody murder like and it was like it looked like she witnessed someone getting murdered and it was so funny because it just like it's just those little Becky always described it as this is just like improv is just reminding people that comedy's happening when you're in the scene. You're just constantly, you just do the scene, play it real, and then every now and again you just remind them that this is a comedy show. Like it felt like that's all it was just like, oh yeah, that's something that we would all do in this moment. I would scream my butt off and to watch them,
Yeah.
to see that real reaction. And I think the character that was killed was a mouse, and like they were all mouse people. And I think that level of it of like this very real reaction also with the knowledge of these are all mice was very funny.
Yeah. And
And
to
so
see
yeah,
like
I
an
think
event like that trigger like total behavioral switch in like a whole team, to see a whole team in an instant be able to change to doing an activity realistically,
yeah,
but maybe in a faster tempo than in real life.
yeah,
Um, I think that has a lot to do with it actually. Is like tempo.
yeah,
Like the beats are very real, but maybe in comedy, like we just go from the beat, we just speed the tempo up a little bit.
yeah. No, you got to get ahead of people because as soon as they are able to break down what's happening, then the laughs are gonna start to stop.
Yeah, there's this thing too, watching improv for probably your first year where like you don't understand the moves that are being made and it makes your brain go like, what's happening? Like, how did
Yeah.
they do that? It's probably why like we fell in love with it.
Oh yeah. And it was interesting to me too that once I learned how to do it, and I can break down every scene and they still make me laugh
Yeah.
and
Like
stuff. And then
cooking,
like,
like if you have a good recipe, it's gonna be great. If you don't know how
yeah,
to cook, then you're like, wow, you're a wizard. But if
absolutely.
if you know how to cook, it doesn't take away from the food.
Yeah. Well, I think, and the other thing about it is that since I mean, this is the whole point of like comedy training in general, not even just improv, but the whole point of it is learning how to show what you yourself find funny, what is your personal point of view on what's going on. And that I think that's what keeps it surprising even to the people that like know comedy, because comedy is all about surprise, and it's like you have the benefit of, if you've never studied comedy or anything, of like it's always going to be surprising to you because you have no idea how it's done. This is, but even when you learn it, I still laugh my butt off seeing Becky Drysdale and all my favorite stand-ups like John Mulaney or something, and it's because I do not share the same point of view and the same life experiences that they do, and so everything they say, if they're showing what they find funny instead of what they think others will find funny, it will automatically surprise me because I do not live in their head.